Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, finally, my world is back to rights. I know I took a week's holiday. I came back so tired, so exhausted that I didn't do a Sunday thought because I had no thought. I was really, really tired. And then last Monday, when I was beginning to do mental mind treatments, felt a lot better, everything ready to go, my computer went blank. Those that watched, I was trying to figure out how to use my iPad to put something up, which kind of got scrambled anyway. And it was very difficult because it's been years since I'd used my iPad that way. So here we are, a Sunday thought with all of that behind us. Computers back working, holiday is now done. Exhaustion is comes and goes, but basically more like normal. And the computer definitely is being revamped, which is wonderful. Today, what I wanted to do is share something that came up during a channeling. I did a channeling workshop yesterday. And when I mean by workshop, it was really an attendance of a class that I was leading, channeling people's guides for them. Now, one of the participants were asking about their children. And at the end, when they finished the channeling, one of my friends who was also participating suggested, tell her about the growing the child up, Norma. Something I discovered many years ago, it was given to me. It was one of those things that was a gift that was given to me. I was shown how to do this. And probably because I had my own kids to figure out. But it goes like this. If you're having any complications, worries, or concern about your children, and I must say this can also apply for parents. So we do the same exercise with them as well. So what you do basically is you close your eyes and you look inside your mind's eye for how old that child is, one at a time. You don't do two or three, one at a time. You look to see how old they are in your mind's eye. Then you know what they are in biological terms. And the key is then to go inside and grow them up in your mind. So no matter how old the child is, by the way, it really doesn't matter. You make sure that your internal picture of your child equals the external age. The communication immediately will shift and change between the two of you. You can do this in so many different ways. Relationships, you're being with your husband or wife for a long time. Do you have them at the appropriate age? Things change with aging. Aging has cycles. If you ever read Gail Cheney's, I think it's Sheeny, actually, Gail Cheney's book, where she talks to different groups at one age. And 10 years later, she wrote another book about the changes that had gone on around couples with coupling. But it was fascinating to watch and read. Well, for me, I say watch because I see pictures when I read. But anyway, one of the things we discover, that I discovered too, that was around parents, how important parents. Our parents get older. And very often what we don't do is we don't update our internal pictures. So we're getting frustrated or we're getting extra concerned and all those other things, when in fact, we really need to be understanding where they're at, accepting, working with, being aware of, all those kind of things, making a big, big difference. This is just a little exercise, as I said, I was given one time many, many years ago, that a lot of my clients have benefited from. Because very often when they're asking questions about their children. Their adult children, usually, not so much young ones, although that can also happen sometimes because of other things, but mostly adult children's. And very often we forget what our eternal pictures that we hold, it's like we hold them in there, that we don't actually they're not really relating. They're not really at one with what's really happening in the outside world of how it all brings about together. So it's one of the, just take a moment and check. How old do I see this one? How old are they? And that growing. And also, it's not something you just do once. You keep on top of it, because very often our habit is our brains will slip back to the old, and we want to stay on top. We want to keep up. I always find I did and still do an updating on my children's birthdays. My parents are now long gone, but my children, I always made sure that I was updated with them. And that found to a large degree, not always, but mostly it worked, because remember, they have pictures of their own relating to me. So they have to deal with that as well. So it is an exciting thing to recognize the power we actually have in our minds in relation to the outside world. We're not separate little entities. There are things happening. And our children are very, very important to us. Our relationships with them are very important to us. Our communication with them. You might be able to even extend that further. I haven't extended it further out of really close family, but you never know, because we're amazing peoples. A human body is amazing. Our brains are amazing. Our awareness is amazing. And I have to admit, it was fun doing the channeling session again yesterday. I haven't done it for a number of years, since, maybe 5, with COVID, and I had moved just before that too, because of some circumstances that went on. And it was so pleasant to be able to do that for people. And I have a waiting list already for the next time I put one on, because I only do so many at a time. But it is always informative. It is always exciting. And for me, I really get to feel, I don't know, enlivened. Can I put it that way? When having contact with these beings who are people's guides, who are just so aware and so knowledgeable, and sometimes have such a different perspective of life than maybe myself. It was very good for me. And everyone said that they enjoyed it and they got a lot out of it. I should say, if you're ever interested in doing that, I usually, when I do my little workshops or reading specials, I have it in my newsletter. So you can always sign up through my website or directly with me for the newsletter. And then it has the dates on them. So I'll probably be doing another one next month and just see how we go with that. Anyhow, I want to say it's great to be back. It's great to be in, you might say, Normalsville. The computer threw me. It really threw me. It was like, I was frantic. Can you imagine? 5 minutes before you're supposed to go on air, and nothing at all. Blank. Everything was blank. Yeah, it was a little terrifying. Anyhow, everything's back to normal. Trustingly, it'll remain that way. And I want to thank everyone who's really supported. And I will be back tomorrow night from Mental Mind Treatments, which reminds me, if you need a prayer, if you need, whether you want to call it an affirmation, I don't mind what you call it. If you need something specifically, come on, Mental Mind Treatment. Write it up for me in the chat line. And also, you can give me 3 numbers between 1 and 2, and I add a little bit of psychic ability to that, to what's going on as well. So it's all good. So please know that then Wednesday Norma Talks comes back too. So it looks like we almost had a 2-week hiatus when we were supposed to be having 1. So have a great day. Enjoy this weather while it's still lasting. Bye now.